Right. The point P lies on this curve with x coordinate being 0. Find the equation of the normal to the curve at point P. Right, so first of all, we know that P lies on that curve when x equals 0. So when x equals 0, let's just quickly find out what does y equal. So x equals 0, then that implies y would equal e to the 0 plus 1, e to the 0 plus 3. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, so that's 1 plus 1 on the top, oops. And that's going to be 1 plus 3. So we got 2 over 4, which is a half. I'm just going to put that 0 and a half is where P is. Okay, on the curve. Now, in order to find the equation of the normal, before I can find the normal gradient, I need to find the gradient of the tangent. So if I have y equals e to the x plus 1 over e to the x plus 3, I need to differentiate this. I need to find what dy dx is. Now this dy dx is the gradient of the tangent at a particular x point. Just going to put that there. Okay. So this is a quotient. I'm going to call that bit u. I'm going to call the bottom bit v. So u equals e to the x plus 1 and v equals e to the x plus 3. When I differentiate this, that will go to 0. That stays itself. I differentiate that. That's the constant goes to 0 and e to the x stays. And then we cross multiply. Now I did say always multiply with the v first. So v, we're going to multiply that by that. So you got e to the x, and in brackets you got e to the x plus 3. Okay, note that that 3 is not part of the power. Okay, sometimes people get confused with that. So that times that minus that times that. So I've got e to the x, and that's going to be e to the x plus 1. And that's going to be all over v squared. So that times that, v squared is e to the x plus 3 all squared. Now, because we just want the gradient, it doesn't tell you that you need to simplify this expression. So yes, you can simplify it, it's not difficult. However, if we're just looking at the gradient and you don't fancy simplifying this, you can just sub in the value of x equals 0 in here. It's not a problem. So 6 and 2 threes if you want to simplify or not. I'm not going to, okay, because I'm lazy. So I'm just going to say e to the 0 plus 3 minus e to the 0 plus 1 all over e to the 0 plus 3 all squared. Now note this is going to be the gradient of the tangent at point 0. So that's 1. That's 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. Take away, that's 1. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Times 1 is just 2. And that's 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So that gives me 2 over 16, which is 1/8. Hence, I say it again, this is the gradient of the tangent at 0, when x is 0. You should know that gradient of the tangent times gradient of the normal is equal to -1 when they are perpendicular. Now state that in the exam, because you get a mark for it. So these are perpendicular lines, okay? So you get a mark for that, stating sometimes. So we've got that, and then you can say here, therefore, the gradient of the normal, when that is a half, is just going to be -8. Okay. So now, we want the equation of the normal. We know that equation of the normal is going to be a straight line. So so it's going to be in the form of a y equals mx plus c. But now we know that gradient of the normal at that point is going to be minus 8. So here comes the answer. It's going to be minus 8 times x plus c. But what we do know, because we need to find what c is, we also know that this tangent goes through the point P, which is 0, x is 0 and y is 1. It's like doing a graph. That's like a reciprocal. Let's just say if it was a graph like this, let's just say that. Let's say this was P. This will be the tangent at P, and this will be the normal at P. And P's been hidden, so that's where P is. So P is actually a common point in the tangent, in the normal, and on the curve. Okay, where they all meet. So now if I sub those values, I always put that so I don't do it the wrong way around. That is a half equals x is 0 plus c. Therefore it's pretty obvious that c will be a half. It doesn't ask for any particular form in it, so you can just write y equals, if you want, equation of normal is minus y equals minus 8x plus a half. Now sometimes they do ask you for a different form where they want it all in integers. You could double everything and say 2y equals minus 16x plus 1 and bring that to your side, so you get 16x plus 2y equals 1. Now sometimes they ask you that form, not all the time, just be careful. Okay, if it does ask you in that form, you'll lose a mark if you don't put it in that form.